When we last left off, our heroes from another world followed Sister Heather up into the mountains in search of a magic sword held in a statue of an ancient hero up in the foothills, but unfortunately some of the beasts of darkness, these horrid bloodthirsty monsters, had beaten you to it and were trying to cart the thing off. Aiveah selflessly charged ahead into the midst of the enemy to try and retrieve the thing, and by your powers combined, you were able to stop the beast from dragging the sword away, though it did cost Aiveah a pretty thorough ass-kicking in the process.
You say selflessly. I say selfishly. I was like, I just want the big weapon first, or at least that's what she's going to tell everyone.
No, no, it's clearly for the good of the group. Clearly.
Yeah, yeah,
You just happen to be the one
yeah.
who gets to wield the thing.
Yay.
And so the party, with new magic sword in tow, uh, set about navigating the mines and did so pretty successfully. They even found some treasure along the way before encountering a guardian beast, a wretched monstrosity made of stone and lightning, held together by dark magic, that came pretty close to flattening them and drained basically every resource the party had to put down. But that wasn't the last of the creatures. No, there was one more, a floating monstrosity on four spindly little legs that had a pair of arms severed from someone, feminine and elfy, attached to its horns, performing some sort of dark ritual on the mountaintop. Aska was able to wrest control of the ritual away from it after Bronwyn silenced the beast, and together you were able to steal its magic and blast it to Kingdom Come. Beneath you, you saw the remains of Moonrise Tower, having been thoroughly besieged by this creature's storm magic for the last probably several days, but now given a moment's reprieve. Still, quite badly injured between them and thoroughly exhausted of their resources, the party has returned to Stonebank to lick their wounds.
You can't let those delicious wounds go to waste. Let me lick them for
Sure, the barrel's out. Go on, have a lick.
you. Ugh. It's like licking a toad, but you just get hangovers instead of high.
Just start smelling the blood. Get like like those teenager high. Get drunk by somebody opening a beer can in the room.
Is
Uh,
there enough blood compared to like the alcohol in there for her to actually get anything from
yeah, I
you?
don't
Let's
really
be
get
honest.
sustenance out of her blood, to be fair.
So, the party returns to Stonebank and are greeted by cheers from the assembled farmers and miners here. There's several dozen of them gathered here, most of the village's population now. They've cleared the dead and gotten the wounded tended to while you were gone. And the brawny lad who had almost come to blows with Aiveah approaches you with a shamefaced look. Says, "Well, you guys really did it, huh? I guess I underestimated you. I'm sorry."
It's
Um,
all
He
right.
Thank you.
underestimated us.
of
Just
course.
looks at us like fucking shit kicked in, toasted, roasted, and smoking still. It's like, yeah, you
You're
did.
alive.
We only did what we should.
Indeed, it is no problem.
Yeah, well, what you should have done is still more than we did.
Uh, Look, people have different capabilities for different situations. Personally, we would have been, well, useless in helping with this village directly. We just need to be pointed a direction of where to do violence.
The sister will take a step forward at that. Unfortunately, that's most of the island still, but this part seems free of monsters for now. first time in a long time.
And we shall endeavor to keep it that way. And
Oh,
spread
May
that
do
this
you-
be
to the
how
rest of
the
the island.
entirety of the Isles looks.
Oh,
here.
Mr. Oren, can you turn around for a second?
He will give you a hesitating glance before doing so.
And then Aiveah is just going to reach under her top and pull out the arms. Do you know who these belong to?
There is a gasp of horror from the accumulated villagers other than him.
Yeah, the rest of the villagers are still here watching us.
Oh, I thought that they'd all gone back to
Nope,
their respective
they're
shit.
still here.
I'll wait till it's just like a little squad. Never mind.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, no,
the
I
priest
know
is
better
gonna,
than to
usher
actually
people off.
horrify her. Yeah.
Yes. So don't
we,
worry,
we
yes.
found the. We sensed the magical connection heading off to the north.
I'm afraid I can't identify someone's arms. Where did you find those?
Do you
It
really want
was.
to know?
Yes, you might not want to know the story.
And more importantly, why did you bring them with you?
Well, they still belong to them. I'm sure they could be stuck back on again. We certainly weren't going to leave them where we
Their owner
found
might
them.
need them.
Yeah,
Stuck back
they're,
on.
They are not
They're-
decaying.
They're
Indeed.
alive. They're still alive.
Sister just puts a hand over her mouth like, oh god.
There is, as one would put it, some wizard shit occurring.
I just go over to her. Hey, dude. Yeah. Ouch. Oh. Hey, can you reach over? I think I have a fucking rock stuck in my back. Just pull it out.
Miss, that's not a rock. He points to the Karen's back where there's like a big monster talon just jammed through her armor and like 2 inches into her skin.
Oh, that's what that was. Just reach up and pluck that
Sheesh.
out. Quink! Rock is gone.
Oh. Oh, yeah, that's good. Now I can fucking move my shoulder again. Better. I had trouble reaching back as well. Like something was stuck there, but I think it
Yeah.
was a rock.
Indeed.
The sister is just gonna hurry over and cast a Cure Wounds on you.
She's out of spells for the day, so she can't. So, haha, I remember that.
Yeah, well, she gets one per
Oh, yeah,
short
well,
rest
I-
back.
Yeah,
I'm
she gets
not out of
like a
spells
channel
for
back.
The day.
Yeah.
Either way, you're getting a heal.
Everyone just runs over to fuss over Karin. Orange just looking at you
No,
like, Jesus Christ, woman.
Yeah, don't worry about me. Just, I can fix this shit. Don't worry, don't worry. Like, hey, I need a drinking buddy. You want to be a drinking buddy?
Sure. God knows I could use one.
Good. It just sloshes like this. There's like a third of this barrel keg left. So,
I think that's a
Well, we get some-
mug for you.
well, yeah, but I was trying to scale it to something, but whatever.
Yeah. Tell you what, why don't you all come with me to my house? It's big enough for all of you to sleep in. And a bit empty
Okay.
now.
Ah, that's very nice of you. Just pulls him into, not squish him there. That's a good boy.
Your hospitality is much appreciated.
Yes, you all go make camp at Oren's. I'll get the villagers to bring food around. And perhaps fresh clothing as well, if we can find some in your, sizes.
That would be appreciated, but I don't have much hope for that.
Heather will nod and scurry off to go find some young ladies in the village to get cooking for you. And she'll pause, glance at Karin. And I think we have some honey mead stashed away.
He just
Ooh.
lifts up her
Benefits.
mug and she, you know, when you do the whole way kind of thing, but when you lift up your both arms, but she
Yeah.
forgot she's holding the guy as well, so she lifts him up as well. So the beer mug's like, hey, let's go. You just come down an arm.
This lad has been reduced to your pocket now.
He's my friend now. I carry him. Yay.
Yeah, you guys can get yourselves taken to the largest house in the village, the alderman's place, where there are guest rooms enough for, well, 2 of you to a room, but hey, there's beds. Bronwyn's gonna have to do some squeezing, but what can you do? She's probably used to it by now.
Squeeze.
Don't worry, I can. Does it have like, you know, like an upper patio? Like, you know, an upper porch, I think in its American.
A balcony, you mean?
Yeah, well, I think, yeah, balcony usually have it open and covered, but, you know, like the,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
fuck,
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just call them like balconies.
okay. Does it have it, or?
It has a small one.
Yeah. They're gonna sit there with Oren as well, just have a chat with him.
Sounds good. Let's
Well,
see.
it's gonna just like, tell me about, well, since, tell me the story of his grandfather. What's his grandfather that passed here, right?
Yeah. And yeah,
So tell me the story of the older man. Tell me of his life. Tell me who he was and what he became.
unfortunately, what he became is a stain under one of those big monster's feet. Or it's just gonna pause, take a long drink at that. Uh, well, he was still with us. Gods, he was the rock of this village. People look up to him, you know. He was the tallest and strongest of all of us, even me, even at his age. He worked his ass off in those mines for 40 years. You know, there's a gem down in the capital, I'm told. And he's the one who found it. Decorates the statue of Tyrion there. It's a big honor for the whole village. That the queen even came up to accept it with the high priestess. I'd never seen her before or since, but I'll never forget it. Gramps was so proud. He actually cried. First time I ever saw that. Even when my folks passed. And now... Warren just pauses, does a little sniffle, and takes another long drink. As that makes me the alderman now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like his father before him. No one's been up to that mine for years now. You're the first, ever since those monsters started coming in droves. And you think it's actually clear again now?
Well, thinks about it. We did kill off the majority. We lured off some. They might be still wandering around in the caverns, but fully cleared. Then we can settle this. I won't say it is because I don't want y'all to get hurt. But when this is all fixed and stuff, it will be it will clear out. And you can go back. And you can mine again.
Yeah. There's an iron vein somewhere up there. No one's touched it in almost 20 years now. If we could open that back up, we could start making more weapons and armor to fight these bastards off with. Actual swords instead of just pig iron plowshares we've been making do with. And it's just a shame that... Well, I guess you'll be taking the giant cleaver. Even that horned lady.
Yeah, yeah, blue lady. She's nice.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, she's from the south. They're like a bunch of okay, maybe you don't know. There's like, from where I'm from, she's in the south, and she's like in the country of knights and monsters, like, just wasteland, like these things, but, bigger and meaner and a lot more. So they're like not a lot of, you know, you get shit done or you're dead. If you want to talk a lot, you're a bard. So the knights down there go out and she just waves a hand like she's using a sword, like, and then just chop and fight and die. So they take oaths, they swear, and all that stuff, but the knights, and they're like, how many has she seen died? How many friends have she lost? Nobody knows. I don't. I don't ask. She's just blue.
So you really do have these monsters where you all are from too, huh?
Yeah.
What? Where the fuck are you? Ah!
Huh? She's been standing behind you this whole time.
Where? Yeah. Cannot actually turn her head far enough to actually see behind herself.
She's why you've been sitting down in the shade. She's a big shelf. She's a gazebo.
Yeah, that's a
Oh.
shame. There was this preacher years ago who came around saying that we should all abandon this island we live on and go back to Saris, that there we'd be safe from the monsters. He was yammering on that some dark lord was dead and it was okay to go back now, but maybe not. I almost
the
believed him.
vampire dude?
I don't know. Never heard of a dark lord before or since.
Oh, the blue lady. She, I think, fought him or some shit like that. Knights do fight dark lords, and stories then like, oh, there was the dark rocks of evil something something. I don't remember too much. But they were Dark Lord, and there was a giant dinosaur. I remember dinosaur, big dino.
What's a
Giant
dinosaur?
mega. Oh, it's a. It just looks at where the fuck they are. Like, imagine a lizard with a long tail and a long neck, but points up. It's taller than where we are standing.
So a dragon.
No, it's just a lizard.
So a retarded dragon with no wings.
Are you talking about a wyvern? Or a worm?
No, a
A
dinosaur.
linorm.
No, dinosaur. What's
I can't say I am. Wait, no, you have mentioned this before. I have never seen a creature like this, though.
Yeah,
In person.
remember I showed you a picture, remember? I even have picture. Right. Gets out the roll up. Look, look. It looks like this. Just essentially a child's drawing of a simple dinosaur.
He looks at it, looks at you. It does kind of look like a dragon without wings, though.
Well, yeah, but it's... Yeah, but it's a lizard.
And a dragon's a lizard.
Do you want to tell a dragon it's a lizard?
Actually, it is more likely. Well, I mean, they are lizard-like, but really they're not reptiles. They are, in fact, warm-blooded creatures.
See, that's like saying, look, he's a human, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're human, right?
Right.
Right. But you look the same like a monkey.
What's a monkey?
Oh. I like you. You're a good man. But yes,
that's the nicest way anyone's told me I'm stupid I've ever heard.
No, but the Dark Lord, and he's gone from there, and really nice and everything, but the Dark Beast in South is not like in the cold North. We make stuff out of them. We hunt them, and we make stuff out of them.
What do you mean stuff? Like poison?
No, like there's one of our big jaws there. He got like a hammer made out of a tooth, and it's called like dragon's tooth or something like that, but it's like a big molar.
Whoa, whoa, that's heresy. The church says you can't touch any of this stuff that comes off those creatures. It drives you crazy.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Our stuff is so scared of us that it doesn't drive us crazy. Or we're already crazy up there and it doesn't affect us. He just shrugs.
He just looks at you for a moment and just also shrugs and nods like, yeah, alright, that makes sense.
But
yeah, pussy-ass great beasts. But they are scared of you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's like 3/4 of a year. It's frozen, pitch black, cold. Everything wants to die. Everything is death. And we live there. We grow. We thrive. And we hunt.
Why do
Is that
you
why
live
you're so
there,
big?
then?
Because it's
And fuzzy.
why do you live here?
There's nowhere else to go?
Well, you said you could go, but you had dude to say go back. So, like, have you even asked?
Priestess Talira says that trying to go back to Saris is impossible. Not with these great beasts around.
Okay, I just...
And they took that
why we're
preacher
living
and
there.
burned him, too. I remember that.
That wasn't nice.
Well, yeah, but he was going around scaring everybody, preaching against Lady
that's true.
Tyrion.
Oh, that's true. Then you're sort of being an asshole. You kicked them off the island. Voted off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not much of a church-going man. I don't understand the difference between staying here or going back to Saris. It's all the same to me. Just seems like there's monsters no matter where you go.
Well, there's more monster hunters there than there are here, so
So what? He was right. We should go back.
just well, if you can, it's like we'll welcome you home. That's about it.
Yeah, but the priests say that they hunt dragons back on Ceres. Wouldn't they, like, come after Lady Tyrion?
Oh,
They hunt dragons?
Yeah. All the
Oh, like
stories are all about how
oh
these
the
knights drank the blood of monsters to empower them to go murder all the dragons. Them and the elves.
that was 1,000 years more ago. That's nobody's been doing that. Dragons are cool.
What do you mean 1,000 years ago? We've only been here in Irayse for a couple hundred, right? He looks to you for affirmation. You have no fucking clue.
I don't know how long you've been here, but the we know about the dragon elf war that went to shit and the elves, pissed off. That was over 1,000 years ago.
That's not what the green priests say. There's that sword your friend has, Giant Cleaver. It was brought here by someone who was trying to kill Lady Tyrion. Except the queen stopped him before he could. Everyone knows that story.
Hey, when he says the sword, if he just like looks over his shoulder and see that the sword just like propped up on the wall right now. It's just chilling right there next to him. She just like walked right in.
You can definitely tell there's like a moment of jealousy where he's like, I could take the sword. After all, why not?
Why shouldn't I? Look, if he brings it up when Aiveah's done killing everything here, he can fucking keep it. I'm sure she can get other fancy things in other places.
I think he's a little too terrified of you personally to try.
Fair. I mean, as he should be as well.
Yeah, as he should be. I mean, you are awesome and cool.
Yeah. Aiveah is probably like vaguely listening in on their conversation and just enjoying the majority of the misinformation, like the mismatched time. She could definitely correct him, but the way she'd correct him is by telling him, I am one of those baddies. So she'll pass. She'll just let that happen. Just chill.
Yeah, it's fine. Just let Karin gaslight this guy. It's fine.
Yep. I mean, fucking, it's not his
Right.
problem. He's apparently never going back there, and I don't know, they're all dragon-killing psychopaths. And she resents that remark. She never got to kill a dragon. Name right.
Well, just go kill Lady Tyrion. It's fine.
Ah, it's cool. Apparently, they're the good guys now.
Well, yeah, we got dragons in the north, and I think somewhere we got the big one, Maltrax, really big one, like huge, like
Yeah,
bigger than this.
Maltrax. He's in the stories too. They say Yvain herself, the queen, she lulled him to slumber ages ago to stop his heavy breathing from shaking the world apart. That one was my favorite growing up.
Oh, he's awake.
Oh, sucks for your world then.
Oh no, that's they. Apparently, according to some people, he's supposed to be actually pretty, you know, I think chill. I think they call him chill. A chill dude.
I'm sure he's a nice guy, but at least the stories say he was so big that even if he didn't want to, if he just moves around, there's earthquakes.
Oh yeah, he's like way bigger than this entire island.
How does
How?
such a creature survive? The amount of food it would
Very
need to
easily.
eat.
Well,
Surely it must spend nearly all of its time in deep hibernation.
I'm less
Okay.
curious about how it survives and more about how your world survives. It seems like if he just rolled over in his sleep, he'd crush a whole country.
yeah. Why would he roll over in his sleep if it's just laying down? Duh.
Can
Well,
he even roll over in his sleep?
I mean, what if he gets happy and wags his tail? Or if he gets an upset stomach and burps?
Good God.
I have a question. If you're that big, what would upset your stomach?
I don't know, I'm the biggest guy in town and I eat Talira's cooking and uh, he glances across the street to the pregnant priestess. I shouldn't say.
Like, she need tips?
I don't think there's any tipping gonna save her cooking. Maybe a poisoner's kit.
Is she really that bad?
Let's just say Sister Heather has to stick around every time there's a feast day. Otherwise, a lot of people are going to be out of work for a while.
Hmm.
Darren loves her, though. She keeps trying. That's what the priests all say, is you keep doing something over and over, and eventually you'll get good at it.
No, that's wrong. If you're bad at it and you're not getting better, you need to have somebody come in and show you how to get better.
Wait, 20.
Otherwise, you don't like when a wagon is like in the mud and you pull and the wheel you just go round and round and like that. You're stuck in the mud. It's like you're not going anywhere, see?
Well, yeah, I mean, I bet she would get stuck in the mud. She's so big, but I wouldn't say that to her face.
Well, then just poke him in the head. Then don't say it to her back then, jeez.
You're the one who said she'd get stuck in the mud.
No, it's a milliford. No, not milliford. It's a metaphor.
What's a metaphor?
A metaphor is an idea of a situation. You know, like burnt child fears fire. A child that
Is
burnt
that a
itself.
metaphor?
Yeah. Burnt child fears fire. It's like when you burn yourself, you're always making sure to be careful so you don't burn yourself again. A child that is burned by fire will fear fire. In the same way. See?
So it's just common sense?
Well, if you think of the picture in your head, like that's what a metaphor is. If you're stuck in the mud, you need help getting out so you can run. Much like her cooking is, she's not getting better, she's stuck in the mud, she needs someone to come in and help her so she can get unstuck and move on. See?
Yeah, but she gets all cranky if you give her any criticism. I once
Well,
told
that's
her
a
her shirt
person.
was unbuttoned and she yelled at me for half an hour, called me a pervert. Not my fault.
Well, that's a personality issue. This issue of personality then. And she just where's my belt? I need a belt. Need some
Whoa, hold
discipline.
on. I ain't a preacher either, but I'm pretty sure hitting a pregnant woman's not okay.
Yeah, it's
You think
frowned
she
upon.
has a she has a butt.
Why
Well-
would
Every
you?
child.
Look, you don't spank a pregnant woman unless it's gentle and she asks you for it.
I'm not gonna. I'm not you. I'm not gonna hit her like with the force of a giant swing. Okay. It's understanding. It's the concept of understanding discipline. And if she's being hoity-toity attitude, then it's an understanding that sharp noises, like somebody about to get their ass whooped, reacts to. Like, see, if you make if you take the belt,
I get the concept
then-
of a belt. I'm just saying hitting a pregnant lady's not okay. And she's just gonna wave it at her, but I don't know.
here, look, give me a belt, give me a belt, I'll show you.
He does not seem to want to give you
Not-
his belt.
I don't believe the demonstration is in order.
I'm not gonna whack him, jeez.
Worried about you whacking Talanora.
No, you thought I was gonna whack. Listen, here.
You did make it sound like that.
Yes. Come on, just give me your belt. Come on.
No. It's my belt. Get your own.
Oh, hey, I do have my own. Hey. Just takes your own belt. Takes both ends together. Grips the buckle and the end, and then grips the other part and makes a big circle in the middle by pushing the ends towards the middle, and then quickly
Oh, you're this guy.
snapping it.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see what you're doing.
That and it makes a whip-like sharp crack.
Aiveah packs up in the other room. Hmm? Oh. Hmm.
See, that noise scares them and makes people, react, pay attention, and it stops them when they're ranting, like
Yeah, but
and stuff.
I mean, he just kind of glances around the rest of your party. And why is your big elf and your little elf biting their lips?
I don't know. Why don't you just ask them? It's like I don't know what they're thinking.
I've
Car
been
just
thinking
flew.
that I would like to get my hands on some potatoes. I've been wanting to do some home cooking recently.
Oh, potatoes? We got potatoes. Well, hold on.
Oh, do you have garlic? I'd also like some fresh garlic.
Maybe. Well, let me look. I haven't been in the kitchen in a long time. Orin will go downstairs.
Hey, it's cooking time. Come on, Tally. Get in there.
Yeah, cooking I don't know the first thing about. That was Mom's thing.
Well, think about this. Then you can learn. Because if you learn, then you remember. And then you can make it again.
Yeah,
And
but
then
the
you
only
got
person
happy.
who offered to teach me was Talanora. I don't want to poison myself.
I have a fair
Just-
amount of experience of cooking. from having to cook for my wife and children.
See? Go on, get in there. Have fun. Learn.
I guess I'll go and do some cooking, I guess, I suppose.
Yeah, Karin is not gonna follow in there because it's like there's already one massive ass elf in there. They don't need another goddamn thing to just block everything in. It's not enough space for two large things in the kitchen.
There's already 2 large things in the kitchen.
2 large things in the kitchen just from Nora being in there.
Only 2. I thought it'd been about 4.
No, there's too large of a thing in the kitchen. There was a missing
Well,
word.
no, hold on. There's 2 large things, 4 large things, 5 large things.
Hmm.
Yeah, but there's space. We need the space to actually be able to just get stuck. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna go past you and tell it that he just wedged himself stuck there and just can't get free.
So yeah, you guys can find some potatoes and some various spices, including a somewhat old but still relatively serviceable clove of garlic in a jar, and get to cooking. Eventually,
Oh,
Sister
nice.
Heather will bring around some other foodstuffs from the village girls. Mostly salads, but there's some venison in there too, all cooked up nicely for you. A feast for the heroes.
Oh, nice.
Aiveah will like politely have one bite of everything, but otherwise doesn't do the food thing.
No.
Kara's just gonna kind of poke you at that. So do you not taste anything from food at all, or what?
If I am honest, I can very barely taste it. Like I know what a strong flavor is. Like if there were raw onions or garlic or anything like that, I would be able to detect them. But otherwise, they don't exactly leave a lasting impression on me.
Hmm.
I can also taste very sweet things, of course, but as well, they don't quite spark joy like, well, particularly sweet blood might. So
Kara
far
just
as I understand it, to you all, it's very iron or coppery, yes?
right.
To me, there are more subtle adjustments to this, like how you can taste the difference between chicken and pork. The bloods have very different flavor profiles when you can taste through the iron. And
So
as
you're
well,
like
it
a
also
wine
depends on the
taster.
diet. Yes, I suppose so, and almost certainly just as snobby.
Well, that's the case. I don't know why you're picking on any of us.
Why would I be picking on anyone? I've been nothing but polite.
Sorry, I meant pricking. She will flick a tongue over a canine.
Ah, well, no, I would say that you're like, she'll just indicate down the line, points at Aska.
I'm not
Like,
there. I'm out there helping people in the village.
this is during like dinner time.
Yeah, this is after we've been.
This is after everyone's like
invited
wrapped
to
up and washed and had food, like
do
they
stuff.
made food for us.
Okay, fair enough then.
Yeah, just point to Aska and be like, for instance, Aska here is reminiscent of, God, what would it be like? Rather tender meat, like stewed rabbit, in the same way that is soft, so is the flavor. The Talanora is very creamy. You yourself are refreshing and fruity. Karin, I can assume, is like drinking straight ethanol. And the others I've not sampled yet.
So you've got us all down to a science, huh?
Essentially, I've got a pretty broad palate by now. I've got 100-something years of experience eating.
So who's
You
got the
tend to find what
tastiest
you like.
blood you've ever had?
It's the tastiest I've ever had.
Mhm.
Oh, that is a tough one. There was an Olga sorcerer, and this sorcerer was blessed by some god in their bloodline. But they had just recently fallen to darkness, so their blood had lost that particularly unctuous and very poisonous to me spark of what you would equate with good positive energy. So I was able to sample that, and it was like having a very spicy meat, like a great big powerful spiced meat. And that one hung around for days as well. Ogres quite large individuals, sorry, giants quite large individuals in the first place. And yeah, that's for sure.
So some kind of fallen paladin or ASMR is just gonna make the sweetest taste?
That makes the spiciest taste, and that's a unique sensation. I'd certainly enjoyed that a lot. I mean, I've tried eating just lots of chilies, of course, or anything like that, and although it just causes some tongue dysfunction or discomfort, the flavor just doesn't follow afterwards, so it's a little bit disappointing.
Have you ever tried mixing blood with food or wine?
Of course. I mean, I don't mind blood sausage. To be fair, that is a blood that everyone tends to mix with food. And I'm no different. It certainly makes it palatable enough to taste. But you'll find that as far as culinary is concerned, blood not renowned for its ability to cook very well.
But what about, like, a sauce on top? Like if Carl will just reach over to one of these nice baked potatoes that Talanora is pulling out of the oven. We'll just, like, flick her nail across her palm and drizzle a few drops of blood on top. If we make a flavoring on top.
Well, I mean, I would certainly enjoy it a whole lot more. Again, I would mostly be tasting the blood, but it does make it easier to eat food.
Kara will dip her fork into this bloodied potato and pull it out with just butter and garlic slathered on top with blood, just as an aperitif. We'll present fork to your mouth.
Fuck it, yeah, sure. She opens her mouth, it opens wide.
Oh.
Very unctuous. Also, hopefully, I'm not going to be terrifying the villagers.
She will
Oh,
glance
that's
at
alright.
Orin, who is, like, deep into his cups and talking to Karin.
Fair enough.
I think at this point his brain's probably mush anyway.
That makes sense.
No, I'm not sure there was much there to begin with.
Yeah. The strapping and tough ones are often, no, I was going to say something very mean. I'd just say uneducated.
My dad used to say that dumb fighters were a blessing. Their brains were so small that they could dodge sword strikes inside their skulls.
You know, my father said something very similar, which is, trust a man who will take any order for you. Any times that would be spent questioning you is instead spent bleeding for you. Not quite as charming, but same concept, I suppose.
That doesn't surprise me. Yeah. And then there's Ursula, who just bent the weapon on her head. Plonk.
Bonk.
No dodge, just parry.
No
Parry
doubt,
this
just
casual.
headbutt. Oh man, the best part was that it was a fucking masterwork weapon as well. It's like, oh. That was a funniest part with that little bout with the guard captain?
So yeah, you guys can dig into a delicious meal prepped by Tally, Aska, and the village girls. Get you some peppercorn garlic noodles. Delicious. Now I'm hungry.
That is the way of it.
Hungry.
And then
Oh, I could
snuggle
go
up for
those
bed.
noodles. What's the name of those fucking those tasty fucking Korean noodles or Taiwanese noodles?
The thin ones or the plump ones?
The instant ones. They come. There's either a big pack or a cup
Oh,
version. But
Megorang?
no. The red and black one. That is like I think it's like vegetable.
Oh, Nongshem.
Nongshim. Yes, those.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's so good. Seriously, it's Savin. If you're ever gonna try fucking noodles like that, go
He
for
has got
those. They're
Nongshem.
like,
He had the noodle cup version, and it gave him the shits real bad, if I remember rightly.
it did.
I don't remember that, but it was very spicy. Yes, I didn't particularly enjoy it.
Ah, that's too bad.
Yeah, not a huge spicy food person.
Not too much into the heat, but well spiced food is good.
Yeah, I like flavorful food.
Okay.
But yeah, so the party's rest is uninterrupted and probably quite long after the shit you've been through. You may recover your vitality, hit points, spell slots as normal. You will
Karin
wake up
is gonna
to be
spend you an hour or so just sitting on the balcony enjoying the clear sky and the moon.
nice. Yeah, when you guys get up, you will be treated to a lovely breakfast of baked buns, honey, and jams from the villagers.
Tasty.
Very tasty. Kara will look amongst you. So what's the
Aiveah does a good
plan?
old-fashioned creepy when she falls asleep looking dead thing.
The plan is to go up to the Sage's Tower and see if they're still there and what they can do with the arms, and afterwards to the Lilithran settlement, I believe.
So what do we do if the sage is there and is alive? Just walking around with no arms?
We
Well,
try
give
to
it back
help
her
them in
arms.
whatever way we can.
Yeah,
Shall
but
we give our arms
how?
back?
Talk with her, yeah.
Yeah, but what do we
Surely
do with
she'll
the
want them
arms?
back.
I'm
I don't know.
unsure at this point.
I'm
Do
sure
any
we
of you
can
know how to put
What do you mean?
limbs back on people? Because I don't.
Well,
Not here.
I
at
don't know
least.
of anyone whose limbs can come off like that.
we got glue, and I got some needle and stitch and thread, so...
Kara will put a finger up. Actually, Bronwyn, you can see me if I'm this close to you, right? More or less.
Assumedly.
What do you mean, assumedly, can you or can't you?
Out of character, assumedly. Like, is she, like,
Yeah,
actually
she's
this
like
close?
2 feet away from you.
Farther than that, even.
Okay. Well, watch this. Because I have a special secret. My thumb can come off. And she does the fucking children's trick where her thumb
Oh,
comes
come
off.
on! Aiveah does the same, just tears her thumb fucking clean off. Just fuck people up. Really become a core memory for you right there.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
God.
Who the fuck starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
Kara continues making her thumb come off and putting it back on. Alright, alright.
That's-
Not funny? Fine. Let's go.
Well, first, I think we should talk to Sister Heather and see if she has means of sending word back to the capital of what we've done, and if the capital can send anything to help the village out here.
Well,
Fine, fine.
a question. We cleared the mine relatively much, right?
Correct, as much as we could.
So, Oren said, like, there's some iron still in there somewhere. So if they can get a little bit of guards to help, they can actually start, getting more actual good metal out.
Right.
What's that got to do with us?
Well, since you're sending to the capital, you send information.
Right, what's that got to do with us, though?
No, but then that means there's, metal for them to make, as you said, weapons, shields to survive better, right?
Okay, but why do we have to be involved in that? What does that have to do with us?
No, because you're sending something. You can say, hey, we did this
Well,
good shit.
that's their
Also,
business. Let them... I'm sure the nice priestess knows what to do with her own government. We don't have to micromanage the entire clergy, do we?
No.
Good, then let Sister Heather know that we're leaving and to send word to the capital for us.
That was my plan, yes.
Okay.
Suits me fine.
Alright.
And I
Gives you the
suppose we'll
double
go find
thumbs
Sister
up
Heather.
and just marches out.
Yeah, I suppose we'll go find Sister
Sure, she doesn't
Heather,
give us the one thumb and a one half thumb up.
inform
Yeah, and then she
her
pulls the
that-
other thumb out from behind Bronwyn's ear. Oh, that's where I left that. I wonder if
that we're
anyone's
going
actually
up.
bothered to do like little magic tricks in front of Bronwyn like that. Like, why bother, right? Is this a whole new world for Bronwyn?
That's just like, it's like you should try all these on B, Mom. That's more her
That's B
Speed.
speed.
B's speed is about half of Tally's speed, which is to say real slow.
not down a hill.
I'm pretty sure Tally rolls just as fast down a hill.
If not faster.
Yeah.
And she does have
To
more
see her
mass now,
roll.
after B got shrunk.
Well, let's see her
She's
rolling.
taller again.
The laughing.
Still not as tall as Tally.
No, not that tall.
She is wider, though, which is terrifying.
Lady Saracina helped her with both of those things, actually.
She would. So yeah, you guys can go find Heather out in the village commons talking with Talira. So you're heading out then?
We are.
Yep.
Much work still needs to be done, after all.
Good. I will let the Queen know what happened here.
Good.
Is there anything we can do for you? Any supplies we could send? We have food to spare still.
Let's see. How are our party supplies doing, actually?
I think you got like 2 left.
We could do with a day or two supplies as we go.
Of course. I'll have the folks prepare something. Do you plan to cross the mountains or try and go around to the water to get to the tower?
What would you recommend? Which would be the easiest?
If you'd asked me the day before yesterday, I'd have said go all the way around. It's much safer,
Yeah,
but...
I mean, we just cleared out the mountains.
Exactly. It might actually be safer for once to go over rather than around.
It's safer in the short term, but what about the surrounding areas in the long term? Would it not be better for us to go around and clear them as we go to the tower?
That I'll leave to your discretion, but there are always more monsters. Whatever's drawing them to this land, it doesn't matter how many we kill, there's always replacements. Only defeating the large creatures, the ritualists, I suppose, like you did, seems to make any difference.
I see.
Which is just to say, don't go taxing yourselves on pointless fights.
Then we won't. As much as I would rather just clear them all out, if they're just constantly replenishing before we find the source of it, then that'd just be a waste of our strengths.
We've had a whole generation come and go, trying to clear them all out. I think you would all rather get back home first, right?
Yes.
I definitely would like to go home.
I'm sure.
I'll probably go to their home. Much nicer than mine.
Is that a thing you can... Never mind.
I'm sure I can figure out some kind of way. If the elves can do it, why can't I?
Heather just looks at Talira, who kind of shrugs. The priestess will give you all a pretty smile. Go with Tyrion's grace, all of you. May she guide your steps.
Of
Thank you.
course.
And may her grace help you in rebuilding here.
So yeah. Plot thy route, party.
It sounds like we should just go over it then, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
over and then if we wanted to like eventually clear some out, we could go like over and then like around to the Gatos.
Yeah.
Gato.
Yeah, and if we're up there, we can just follow the coastal line so we don't exactly have, issues.
That's what I meant.
Follow.
Yeah.
Good clarification then.
Alright. So yeah, no real checks needed. The party's already been all the way up to the top of the mountain, and from there you can see where you're going. It's just a few miles away. The tower appears to have calmed down. There's no longer a storm raging around it, no lightning bolts slamming into it, though it seems smaller than perhaps when you last looked down. Now that the storm has passed, the shattered remains of its upper floors have just finally crumbled away, leaving just the bottom 3 or 4 perhaps intact. The rest seems liable to fall into the sea at high tide. But it is smooth going all the way down. Though not without its sights. There's evidence of carnage all the way up towards this tower's peninsula. Dead monsters, their reeking shadowy corpses slowly smoldering into the ground. There's 20, 30 of those lurkers and winged beasts here, torn to shreds by some arcane force.
I like their style.
She has been busy.
I
Yeah,
hope it doesn't tear us to shreds.
Yeah, indeed, Aiveah, this reminds you of home in perhaps somewhat uncomfortable ways, that ruthless just destruction of physical bodies. There's no reverence for life here, just raw power annihilating creatures. Eventually, you are able to arrive at the base of this tower. It's a short and squat building, and like the White Tower back in Leonacy, this one is open on its ground floor, though rather than a great trade commons, it sports a pillar of light that shines from ground to ceiling. The whole thing is covered with beautiful green vines and surrounded by a shallow lake.
Oh my.
Whoa.
Wow.
Very pretty.
As you approach the other shore of the lake, you feel a heaviness in the air, especially those of you with a magical ability, which I think is technically everybody.
Yeah, pretty much
Whoa.
everyone, I think.
So yeah, you all feel this intense pressure building in the air around you before it just pops. And you're through. And once
Okay.
through, you
We
can
didn't
hear
get torn to shreds.
insects chirping all around you.
Fuzzy.
The sound of frogs ribbiting, and little fishies swimming in the lake. It's strangely peaceful, almost idyllic compared to the carnage outside.
Okay. Are we able to see anybody up at the tower now that we're closer?
Not that you can see. The windows are all shuttered at the moment, and there's no door that you can see on the lower floors of the tower, just this pillar of moonlight.
Alright, well. I suppose I will enter the lower floor and begin looking around.
Alright.
Hello, if there's a wizard here, then we recovered your arms.
There's a pause at that, and then a voice from all around you says, "Oh, those. I was wondering where I'd put them. They seem to have just crawled off on their own."
I know the feeling. I would lose my own head if it weren't attached.
Yeah. Something was using them for nefarious purposes.
I noticed. Step into the moonlight, dears.
Alright.
Let's talk
Step into the
face to
moonlight.
face. Yeah.
Very well.
You step in.
Follows the rest of.
Alright, you've all fallen for the Sphere of Annihilation. Good job, party. Game over.
Yay!
God damn it, I should have known.
No. There is a flash of light in each one of you stepping through. When you get to the other side, it seems that this wasn't just a pillar, but a wall of moonlight, and inside is a cozy little sitting room. Something that you'd expect to see in a log cabin out in the woods, complete with walls, even. There's a little fireplace on one end, windows on the other, a little stove that's currently got a teapot on, and one elf standing in the middle. She's well made up with long blonde hair, big witch hat and long robes. A crescent moon's been branded onto her forehead, and, well, she doesn't appear to be disarmed. She has all of her fingies attached, worn in long gloves. She gives you a faint
Just gonna
smile.
support yourself on Bronwyn and be like, whoa, where'd it go? Oof. Oof.
Oh yes, that'll happen, dears.
Try not to puke your shoes.
Oh, your friend's
Oh.
drunk as a skunk. Here,
No, she's shit oused.
I can tell. The sage will just approach Karin and reach out an arm.
Yes,
Yeah,
good.
I wouldn't cast any kind of sobering on her, or the cumulative hangover might actually kill her.
That bad, huh?
I have not yet seen her for a single living, breathing minute uninebriated.
I've been keeping this going for 15 years.
Well, who am I to question your life choices?
There's a dedication to shit-facedness.
Oh, I was so waiting for it to happen.
She will curl her fingers up, and when she does so, you hear like the faintest clack of metal on metal under her gloves.
Ah, I see.
Oh, that's
Makes sense.
Oh, you got
Hmm.
replacement thingies.
Yes, well, I'd hardly call them perfect replacements, but yes, I'm lucky enough to be blessed with the eternal consort's true flesh now.
so you don't want these back?
I don't not want them.
Yeah,
I'm not
I'll
sure what I'd
walk up
do
and
with them even if I didn't have these arms. Though, to be fair, if I didn't, I'd probably have bled to death.
probably. Yeah, and
Most
yeah,
likely,
I'll hand
yes.
them over.
She takes them, looks down for a moment, and frowns. They're still warm. That's unsettling.
Yes.
They were being worn like
Yes.
horns by Beast of Darkness.
Used to channel the
Mhm.
whole storm spell ritual that was assaulting your tower.
She just looks down for a
Used
moment,
for the
frowns.
somatic components anyway.
But why?
A very good question.
Of all the things these horrid creatures could have done, why send some blade dancer here to chop my arms off and use them to wobble around casting spells? You'd think they could just use their own fucking arms.
Perhaps they
Maybe
can't. Maybe they
indeed.
did need your arms there to actually cast a spell here.
Are you a native
Well,
to this island as it
Ugh.
stands?
No, not as such. At least, not the same way that these poor humans are. Like Yvain, I'm an immigrant.
oh, which
Ah,
one you're from then?
are you Asian?
Or are
Ceresian,
you like from
yes.
Onion?
Hmm.
Oh,
Same as Aiveah.
Was there another option? He glances
These
at
other ones
the
are
rest of your
Eonin.
friends.
Yes.
Iona? That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Can you believe they've never
That's
heard of us?
home.
Which is some horse shit if you ask me.
I can believe that. We're their god's unwanted offspring, at best.
Damn, should have known I was second fiddle.
Barely second, third or fourth if we're lucky. The unwanted bastards left on some poor horse thighs.
just
Cheer
Actually,
up,
also about
though.
that Bronwyn.
That means we
Just
came up on our own power. At least until, the world went to shit and everyone left.
and they all got over it eventually.
Did they? I didn't notice we'd gone back to Saracen. How's Elysia doing?
Elysia is its own functioning place, so far as I know. It is the interdimensional land of elves where people go when they are banished by magic temporarily.
So they didn't get over it. They're still not on Xeris.
I don't know why they haven't come back, but apparently they're doing well for themselves. There aren't that
Probably
many
because
dragons
once you
anymore.
realize you're an interdimensional thigh stain, it's hard to want to go back.
Makes sense, I suppose.
Anyway,
I don't know.
pardon my
So-
incredibly poor manners. I'm Aias, the sage of this tower.
It's good to meet you. I'm Aska.
I am Aiveah.
I'm Talanora.
Bronwyn.
Hey, I'm Karin. How you doing?
I'd say better now, but honestly, not particularly. She looks down at the arms and just sets them down on
Oh.
her stovetop.
Oh,
Yes.
don't be careful with them. They're still alive.
I noticed. That's why I'm not doing better now that I have them back.
You have no idea how difficult it was to hold back on an incredibly impromptu pun.
Oh no, please hit me. I could use the cheering up.
No, I would not want to harm your feelings.
If
My
I
body's been
may-
harmed. My feelings can handle it.
No, that was a joke. My accent. Never mind. As you see, does not work very well for me.
If I may ask, is this tower on anywhere significant that the beast would want to destroy it for? Or
Oh yes, this is as close to the moon as you can possibly be. She will just point out the window where the moon looms large in the sky.
It is quite wonderful. If I were not one of the Morrigan's own, I would certainly see the appeal in Moon Mummy. Our champions happen to destroy Dracul.
They destroyed Dracul. Why? What did he
Indeed.
ever do?
Oh, don't worry about it.
Oh.
Was very well. I'd heard something about him eating a dragon, but well, that's hardly the worst thing knights have ever done.
Oh, I think he ate the bad one then because he became an asshole.
He was always an asshole.
No, like, I'm gonna kill everyone, destroy the world kind of asshole.
He
Oh, so he
stabbed.
upgraded past not writing back after a one-night stand. Unfortunate.
He went the way of the antagonist for long hundreds of years, but was recently killed by Brontosaurus, summoned by a druid who happened to be one of the Moon Mummy's creations, and has restored her faith to the land, although I believe that is still an ongoing process.
The sage just nods, taking that in stride. Well, I would have thought the consort would prefer to drop a giant warforged on someone, but fair enough. Glad that problem's been dealt with, not that I knew it existed in the first place.
Of course.
But yes, as to why they would want to destroy this tower, this is the place to commune with the consort, a goddess that Yvain and I share, and from whom Yvain draws her power. Destroy this tower, and perhaps you weaken Yvain's connection to her goddess. At least,
Or
if
they
I were
get-
some invading force, that's what I would do.
or they get a direct line to a goddess.
Or that, yes. I hadn't really thought of that. This pillar of moonlight does serve as a focal point to her. Well, she doesn't really have an afterlife per se, but her consciousness. Say hi,
Makes-
everyone. She might be able to hear you.
Hi?
No.
Right.
Hello.
Greetings and
Hi.
respects to the eternal consort, I believe you called her.
That's right.
Don't worry, I don't intend to consume you.
Is that something she should have been worried about from you?
I mean, potentially. Not from me personally, but from others like me, yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only consumption I do these days is consensual.
Well,
I didn't
still,
want to
though.
say you looked like a succubus, but you do have that air about you.
Not a succubus, but thanks. I am, but whatever.
Yeah. No,
Sure,
no, not the
succubus.
one below, the one that suck above.
I can see it, yes.
I've seen succubi her tops and bottoms. I'd give her a
Oh, no.
switch rating.
Don't know how this came to my preferences. I meant one of the Morrigan's own kind of feeding, not the demon kind of feeding.
The Morgan's own kind of feeding. What, do you think the consort's some undead you can snack upon? Or is the Morgan taken to devouring other gods to empower herself?
No. It's more consuming our followers, I suppose. That was very popular for a while.
I see. Well, you passed through the curtain of light, so clearly you mean me no harm.
Is that why I'm so itchy?
She squints at you. Yes, this barrier around my abode detects intent. To what force between good and evil, law and chaos in the universe one might align themselves with.
Ah, I was feeling a bit peckish. Maybe the wall can tell.
I see. A very good defense, then.
It is.
Okay.
Unfortunately, one that can only be erected here, where the consort's power is at its strongest.
So I see. Still, that makes a lot of sense now why those beasts were trying to assault it.
I suppose so. Either they wanted to cut off Yvain or get at the consort herself. Either way, I suppose I owe you thanks for disrupting their disarming ritual.
Soft
How
clap.
did that come about that they got a hold of your arms anyway?
Ugh. I was gardening outside, and all of a sudden a great storm broke out, and I've been here long enough to know that when a storm comes on this island, you go inside as quick as possible, because monsters surely follow. Except someone was waiting for me at the door this time. Someone in leathers with a blood-red cape and a pair of knives. And before I could ask, "Who the fuck are you?" she was whirling around me, slicing off my hand and my other arm to the shoulder. If I hadn't had a mage hand summoned to dig into my warforged parts, I'd have bled to death before I even got a spell off.
Goodness.
Very rude.
That
Incredibly.
is terribly rude.
That's
Indeed,
very
I'm
concerning.
lucky enough that I was able to get inside at all, but she left me for dead. More the fool her, I suppose.
Did they give you a name by any chance?
Oh, come on, no one's that stupid.
You described blood red coat and dancing blades. That definitely sounds like the kind of individual who would announce themselves proudly before attempting to do a murder.
Well, they said
Ready?
something, but I didn't understand the language.
Could you repeat it if
Okay,
you
you'd
could?
like to
We
repeat
might be
it.
able to.
Grunsha Elthar Cortaro? Fuck knows what that means, though. I couldn't even figure out what language it is.
Is that any Runen, Draconic, or Sylvan?
Roll an intelligence check.
Okay. Raw intelligence?
Yep, raw dog. Lol.
Bronwyn.
Furthermore,
The
Lamau.
Yep.
Does it call a brainwin? Yo.
Bronwyn, is there something you're not telling us? You seem to have a lot of information about these like eldritch beings.
Yeah, you've made several very good checks on
This is
these
this is the
specific things.
this is the third crit on
I was
Beast of Dark.
We're encountering a
Information.
fifth
Jeez,
scenario.
almost like the fucking the one that likes making SCP characters is really good at fucking monsters. Not only fucking monsters, but knowing about fucking monsters.
Bronwyn, you've only heard a few phrases in this language spoken once or twice in your life, and mostly by scholars trying to recreate it from written works. That sounds like Medusan from Iona. Very much so dead language these days.
Please, that language
That's
is called
Medusa.
Gorgonzola.
That's even more concerning now.
My mom's found several texts of it in their explorations that brought back to get translated. I don't really know any of it, but I'd know the sound of it by ear any day.
How concerning.
But your assaulter didn't have a snake-like body, did they?
A snake-like body? No, she seemed quite humanoid.
Very peculiar.
He just leans
Very.
down to Aiveah. The fuck's a Medusa?
They're essentially a western legend from the, well, southwestern parts of the western area. It's snake monsters that turn people to stone.
In Iona, they were
A
an
basilisk?
ancient civilization
Yeah, sentient
cursed
stuff.
by one of our gods.
Wait, one of your
Uh,
gods made an enemy for you that created a whole civilization?
Kara just
They had
laughs.
a civilization beforehand.
Yes.
Sounds
They were
really dumb of them to just make...
cursed for hubris.
Yes, there's
For my
that
curse, I
curse
shall
from-
turn you into a threat to everyone around you. I'm sure this short-sightedness will never come back and bite me. Every god ever.
Yeah,
well,
their
it hasn't.
empire collapsed.
So I'd say the curse kind of worked.
They can't look at each other either. It's kind of depressing.
Ah,
Sad.
yes. So they just wanted to make their fate depressing. Okay.
That's gods
is
for you.
kind of what happens when you go against a god.
Did they particularly enjoy looking at things then? Is this a feat of twisted godlike irony?
Yeah, they were known for their art.
I was just joking. Fair enough.
And wait until you hear where vampires come from in our world.
Well, now you have me curious. Where do they?
Human priestesses of the sun god who became so decadent and corrupt that their god could no longer stand to look at them, and so, in his infinite wisdom and magnanimity, cursed them to never look upon the sun again and turn them into blood-sucking monsters.
Would this be
no
your sun god then, for
Oh,
good
yes.
old-fashioned irony? Yep, fair
Wylder
enough.
himself, of course. He assumed, of course, that they would repent their ways, walk into the sun, and be blasted apart by his magnificence. Didn't really work out that way, of course.
Isn't this the same Wylder for whom that Mandabad is partially birthed?
Yes, that would be him. He is,
I am
as
told-
some of his clerics are often wont to say, usually before they're meting out corporal punishment, lawful good isn't lawful nice.
Huh.
I'm told the gods were more capricious in their younger years.
You act like they ever stopped.
Oh, a Capri Sun? I could go for Capri Sun.
Fucking smash a Capri Sun right now.
I'm just glad we don't have any more that are so specifically like Talion.
Ugh.
Oh,
I'm sure I could get lost in the sauce of your own crazy gods for an age.
Yeah.
Do
So
you at
if I-
least do you break your pantheon up into good and evil like ours?
Why would you allow
No.
evil
Okay.
gods?
No.
Keep
Why
life
would you-
No,
interesting? I
we
don't
don't-
know.
we don't have evil gods. We have. Okay, listen. Okay, I'm gonna tell you something that is. It's not a secret. It's just that people have misconceptions. It's like there are those gods that do good, and there are those that are capable of doing good.
It sure sounds like the other ones aren't doing good if you have ones that are doing good and ones that are capable of it.
Okay, here's
mean-
the thing. A person doesn't always have to do nice things, right? They're capable of being
Yeah.
monstrous assholes, right?
Of course.
Yeah, but that doesn't stop them from doing fucking good things, right?
I suppose. So which of these dark gods do you worship?
The one about shutting the fuck up.
Oh, okay. Pardon me for asking.
Wow.
Oh,
No.
Marifra.
That's really rude,
see.
really.
Oh, she's a Reefan.
Yeah, so
Oh,
like I
I
said,
thought you were
there's
just
a lo-
the.
No, she's the goddess of secrets, aka shutting the fuck up. No, that makes sense now. I take back my indignation.
I see.
Don't worry, it's okay. It's like
I'm sure it happens all
you,
the damn time.
you, haha, you wouldn't know how many times that shit. It'll drive you to drink. Let me tell ya.
Yeah, so it seems we have 3 followers of the quote-unquote Dark Pantheon with us. A consort...
We do?
Yes, a follower of the consort, a follower of Marifra, and a follower of the Morgan.
I
Aren't
think
we a
they've
happy bunch?
reclassified the consort, to be fair. She is now considered an outer god because she is in the moon.
I'm pretty sure the consort can tell anyone who reclassified her to go fuck themselves.
Maybe she will.
After all, aren't the outer
the
gods the
more-
ones responsible for all of this? Are you implying
Indeed.
that the consort has a hand in it?
No. I'm sure some people do. The moon has long been associated with madness, which is the purview of these fucking gods.
But oh, why a piece was so stupid? Here's the thing. The moon is a reflection of the sun, right?
Oh, come on!
No, listen. It's okay. It's cool. The moon is good. But the moon and its light, the thing that people saw when they actually got out of their fucking caves and be like, oh, we're so afraid of everything, and looked up to the sky and saw this big glowing light, a cold light that didn't warm.
What
Why
caves?
do you think she's very robot but still good? She's there, but she's not
Okay.
warm. She's like the moon. That's it. It's okay. And a
Okay.
lot of things like lunacy and
I mean,
all
look,
that
I'm not
freaky
the
thing.
one I'm not the one who needs persuading. I'm just saying that is the current ongoing concept and theory. I did not say
Okay,
I
but-
apply to it, nor would I disagree. Yes, that
Yeah.
is the origin of the word lunacy.
Exactly. See? And they're saying that the Morgan is Dark Pantheon. The fact that she's the goddess of kindness.
I'm sure.
I'm sorry, I thought
Yeah.
she was the goddess of death. Am I
She is the
incorrect in
goddess of
this?
death.
I thought
You are not incorrect, and for many death is a kindness, but she certainly doesn't go by that idiom.
Yeah, I know, but there's people that don't fucking understand it. That in their last, why do you think she was so fucking alone? Because in their last moments of life, in their last struggles, before they accept the part of their dead, their rage, their anger, their sorrow, everything. She's there for them.
She's certainly not the goddess of loneliness. She's more like, never mind. It's fine. I cannot be bothered to go into the very depths of this.
right. So, back on track, is there anything we can do to help you in stabilizing the tower around here, or
Stabilized? No, the tower's quite fucked, unless you have an army of laborers in your back pocket.
not in this world?
Fresh
I don't,
out.
unfortunately.
No,
No, are you some
No,
fancy pants landlady back where you come from? You have an army.
Yes, we do have a standing army back in Raymond.
Oh, well. If only you could bring them here. Alas.
Afraid you'll have to make do with an archdruidess of a circle.
I miss my squad. Ah well.
you should go to Wednelk. They have like robot builders. They're good.
Bueno,
They're
that
funny to
little
look at.
half-submerged village in the north.
Yeah,
I've been there once. An old man with a beard down to his crotch threw a rock at me. Called me a witch.
I mean, he's not technically wrong about the witch part, but the rock throwing is just uncalled for.
He was
Yeah,
wrong
that's
then, and I
Oh.
decided to prove him wrong, and alright, I didn't prove him wrong, but I made the rock throwing meaningful. I came back a year later and crushed him.
Yeah, are you sure you're not a god? It looks like you're also a fan of this crippling irony thing.
I've been called a goddess by a few men in the past, but that's neither here nor there.
Fair enough.
no. Today, last I checked, it was bustling and hustling and nice paved roads and flush and toilets, running water, heated streets.
Well, I'm glad I reserved my master from dropping a meteor swarm on the place after all.
I think it probably got hit by a meteor storm at some point in the past, wasn't it? Ruins before it became the home of Asmund's chosen.
I don't know. I was
Shrugs.
alive back then.
I just expected you to know more, but then again, fair.
Oh, well, I didn't exactly agree. Like, hey, what was there before here? Like, I was like, oh, cool, mouse robot. I'm gonna follow it.
Mouse robots, huh? Are you sure your creatrix there is a follower of Asmund and not the consort?
I don't think that her creations are warforged. They're probably soulless.
She calls them mouse automatons.
That's terrible, I love it.
Do they look like mice?
Yes,
Okay.
Is she a mouse?
she says squeakling.
So yes.
I heard those existed, and I did not fucking believe a single goddamned person. Is that real? Was squeakling real?
Yeah, they're actually rare because
Well, no
apparently it
shit, they're
was.
rare. I didn't think they actually existed.
Oh, but yeah, they're like,
Sounds hilarious.
yeah, there's like, I don't know, they're just trying to count a figure. There's a few of them, and he's the most famous from what I remember or can remember.
I just assumed she was a were rat.
No, apparently that's her dad.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Her mom is like tiefling. Her dad's a rat.
Am I surrounded by rats or angels?
Be that as it may,
What is an angel?
do you not have devas where you're from?
I don't know what that. I have never heard that term before.
Like an
Feathery
ASMR
winged
with wings?
gaunt servants?
Davis?
Oh, you poor baby. Your gods
Think
sound like
about-
they suck.
Just spread.
I
Aiveah
don't-
just spreads her hands. They do kind of.
I have no
More
idea what you're
Kara
talking about.
cackling.
Just think, well, we have the term devas, but I don't know any.
The gods act
Yeah.
alone, although they do create. One can summon an aspect of them,
And
Yeah, it
yes,
sounded
but
like
they
you guys
tend
had a
to
great
Aiveah-
operate alone.
Yeah, a Deva is responsible
Although-
for the child that conquered the chivalrics and killed the Jerkul.
Although I do believe Morgan has a herald now.
Then she might well be a Deva.
No, I think she's a sub god.
I
There
thought
was
you were
a-
just going
there
to
was
say
a-
succubus.
There was a conflict where
She's a big sub.
there was a new god of death sprung up, and instead of Morgan eating her, the new goddess, decided to serve her instead.
Oh, so she's what, like a demigod? Just her gopher?
Uh,
She's a
no,
subclass.
definitely not the second one.
Spect.
Not an aspect either. No, this is
No, wait,
very
you said
different.
she's a god that works for another god.
Yes.
So it's just a god that works for Morrigan.
Uh,
Yeah.
So she's her
it is a unique.
underling.
It is a
So a
unique
godling.
position amongst the pantheon of where I'm from.
So she's an underling god, a godling.
No, that
Right.
is
That's a
specifically a
baby
term.
goose.
That is specifically a term for a person who was born from a god, a godling, or perhaps it's
Oh.
also
No, that is an Aiveah.
that is another term for it. Yes, a fancier term, or maybe it's derogatory. It depends on how you say it. Really, godling.
Godling definitely sounds like something you'd say to put someone down. It sounds kind of racist, frankly.
It's not right. Sounds no, not
Condescending?
Yes, that's the word.
Condimenting. It sounds like a whole lot of fucking ketchup to me, buddy.
Well, we relish in the thought.
Terrible. But fair.
Anyway, no, the gods don't have divine servants. At least where I'm from.
Huh?
Except for Tyria.
Oh, just snaps her fingers with her actual bare paw, making a stupidly loud noise.
Thump.
Be like, oh, that was too loud. Oh, sorry about that.
Go on.
Python!
What about Python?
Python has Davis everywhere. Now I remember.
Oh, I mean, yes, to be fair, he is a god of mischief, and that mischief extends itself to one-night stands with other gods or Aiveah or other all sorts of bullshit.
I wonder why they don't have these devas that you keep talking about.
Clearly, none of your gods are a castlet. You all know what a cast is, yes?
You mean my dad?
Yes.
One of my
Stepdad?
moms.
That sounds like everyone's cast is someone's dad and or stepdad at the same time.
He's married to my mom.
Fair enough. How many of your moms is he married to?
Yeah, did he ever end up knocking up your mom? Your other
Wait.
mom, I mean.
That was a joke. How many mothers do you have? And I mean, is there a cast then at the center of all of this?
Not at the center,
Yes.
no.
No, it's the
Uh,
Charlotte Center.
One of them.
1, 2, 3,
Thumbs a
4,
chaos.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
There's a lot.
10, 11, 12, 13.
A bundle.
Plus Cass. Cass makes 14. But he's not a
Yes.
mom, though.
Okay, so imagine your father Cass was instead a god and did not have any kind of wife he was tied down to. That is how you get a lot of Deva.
Oh, that's very concentrated blood then.
Yes,
Just
yeah,
sounds
direct
like an-
lineage.
Yeah, okay. Wait. Huh. The ASMRs are like, or
They're watered
Cam-
down,
yeah, Cambion.
indeed.
What do we call that? They're like
Interesting.
long
They're
way
just
down.
early tiefling. It's fine, don't worry about it. Point all gotten across.
What happens if you take a half demon, like 50-50, and then I half god and just put them together? And they have a baby.
I don't know. Find me an Afghat and I'll tell you.
Well, we can just go
There's
back to...
Siren.
Yeah. I guess the answer
what?
is unless that other half of the demon is undead, in which case otherwise they get girl crispy.
Did you even
Also,
try biting Siren?
No, too many self-defense instincts. Especially since it might not have bound me straight away, but I would try to find out that I've been infected while I'm
Hyper-
mid-march.
Ah, the
Sure,
hobgoblin
hotbed.
trots.
Who's he? What?
The hobgoblin trots.
Hobgoblins famous for shitting themselves in your world?
Yeah, basically.
Oh, that is tragic.
Ew.
That is just tragic.
The Hobgoblin Empire forced march their soldiers a lot, and they eat very poorly.
The moment you said empire, I had a pretty good inkling.
Did they at least wear like kilts?
I don't believe so.
Kara just shrugs.
Anders.
Little before my time.
Wild.
Although
Weird.
Cass always wears a kilt. I wonder if... No, that's probably just so he can get his dick out.
You said Cass, so
Easy
it's obviously for
access.
elite.
The
Yeah, easy
ease of
access. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone nods. We all know what a Cass is, yes.
Yeah.
I fear the
Kara's
influence
just gonna
cast
poke
upon my
Tally's
boy.
belly. Hey, answer my question.
Oh, yes, sorry. What?
I still want to know how many of Hashat's wives got their bellies full of kitty cream on the side. Or did she somehow manage to keep Cass from ever getting a back shot in?
Back shot.
Oh, you know, this is just.
Am
the
I
back
aware of any
behind.
castlings in my immediate family?
I will leave that up to you, Kinathis. Did Hashat ever let or encourage Cass to have his way with Tassie or any of the other wives?
I
Or
mean,
even just like
yeah.
accidentally oopsie whoopsie. Like, oh, this one came out as a Cass instead of a Hashat. What happened? Oh, there was that threesome. Oh,
And there's a
fuck,
lot
you're
of
right.
moresomes in the Hashat household.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, the odds of it just at least happening oopsie doopsie is so high for that family because it's not like you're to be taking
There
prophylactics
was-
around them, are you?
There was that one time he was in the middle of a sand.
Oh my god, you're right. He was used as a condom.
Exactly.
Yeah, so there's probably some cats left there. Oh, and she just
Could
goes
be.
behind of it. You know, backshot like this and just grabs and starts cracking her back.
No, backshot isn't. Don't worry about it.
There are some,
Wow,
yes.
There's
You're
13
sick.
Lamau.
No, that was just like a not a literal number.
I wouldn't be
Like,
surprised if there's 13.
10.
Fucking, there are 13 of them. That is a
There
power
was.
move. That actually
mean,
has
it's-
stopped being an accident and been on purpose.
I mean, it's been like 30, 40 years, so like, there better be like, at least a couple of them. So 13, sure.
That was just that was not as an abstract number, so I could figure out what actual die to roll to see how many.
Well, yeah, got it. Some action over the fucking decades.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean it's been like 30 years. Well, 4 of them.
Nice.
Plus con mod.
I don't. No, that one's actually just a dice roll, not a skill.
Yeah, that's fair.
4 that I know of.
Huh. I did think your littlest brother was kind of twinky.
I
Rest,
believe
though.
my mom makes a very special exception for her husband.
Well,
I
that makes
don't
sense.
think she'd allow anyone else to do that. She might probably kill them.
Well, yeah. I mean, that makes sense. They're her wives. They're just also Casses, I guess.
Something like that.
Did she ever knock up any of Cass's wives? I know he has a side thing going on back in Pergolith.
Oh, now there's someone I would believe would cause accidental kids. She could get a rock pregnant. Like, as opposed to backshot, that was backsplash. Just fucking accidentally the kid from her shot.
Do the naughty maneuver. Yank his throat.
It was her
Yeah,
fault for
guess
doing a
what?
handstand. I don't know what to tell you.
Like Donna did
Let me
on the
see here.
fucking Uncharted Isle towards...
Yeah,
okay.
fucking skeet shot.
Huh, maybe not.
Wait, why'd you put drop highest one? Wouldn't it be keep highest one?
No, not in this case. I have to
No,
take
given
into
it-
account Hashat's personality.
And the fact that the Amazon is the childhood friend of Cass, and they're like, come on, there's
Who you cuck,
there's
basically.
some fucking boundaries.
Yeah, you don't want to make a cuckold of them.
I'm not sure that really applies in this circumstance, but
She may be her shot, but she has some fucking morals.
I'd say she has a lot of morals.
yeah, she's a good lady.
She has a very determined personality, but she still has moral.
I have to take into account Cass as well. Any accidental shenanigans from him.
You gotta take into
I
account
mean, to be fair,
Cass
like,
cheering her on.
With Cass
the whole
around, there's
time.
even less likelihood of Shot's spunk going anywhere. Because he wants to just gobble it all up.
Oh, fucking gremlin.
Hmm.
You cum goblin.
Don't feed
I
him
will-
after midnight.
There is still a chance. Be it low.
It would be the most hilarious thing if, like, you actually did get the Amazon accidentally pregnant.
Wait, did that roll correctly? That didn't. Did that
You,
actually-
You rolled.
One?
You did a 1d3
D-
D minus 2.
Oh,
Drop the other
whoops.
D.
I thought that. No.
It was close.
Never ever, huh? That's surprising, but I suppose probably for the best with nobility involved and all.
No, you are very important.
Rashad always had a personality quirk of I will never sleep with another person's wife ever. That is a thing she had on her sheet, and that is still a thing she has. Except, I suppose, in terms, the only exception would be Cass's wives, and even then, she's kind of uncomfortable with it.
Cass just sitting on the sideline. But Hashad, I want you to sit on her face. It would be hot.
That's the
But
only
she'd
reason it ever
die!
happens.
No,
That's the only
no.
reason it does happen at all, is because of Cass.
Yeah, that makes sense. That checks out.
Give me the fat fuel.
It's plappening! It's plappening!
Oh my god.
Hashat cannot
Thank you,
fucking
thank you.
sit on a normal fucking human's head.
Mm,
Fucking die.
I mean, look,
I mean,
we've
the
already
Amazon was-
determined that
was
when
fair.
Cass is on his deathbed, he just wants Roz and Aska to come around and just clap their booties together around his head to finish him off.
I do owe him a favor, yeah.
Oh my god, that's
Jesus.
right. A real ass favor that was just a promise you guys made. That when his time comes and he says he's done on this world, he wants to be destroyed.
Honestly, I
'Cause-
thought it would have been like arranging some marriage for like future children or something like that.
No,
Nah,
it's
Cass knew you
just
were
looked at you
uncomfortable
girls
with
and
that.
knew how he wanted to
Just like
die.
me.
He would be, yeah.
I mean, Cass would appreciate, happening anyway, because, like, House Raymond and House Leofric are, like, longtime friendos.
There are plenty of children that it could happen with, yes.
Like, Kate and Ash.
It's a possibility.
In the meantime, Sage is listening to you guys talk and quirks her head to the side. You are a strange bunch, aren't you?
They come from a really horny world.
What, you don't? I remember Saris.
I did admittedly not spend much of my youth being horny, unfortunately.
Hmm, that's unfortunate. That's the best time to be horny.
I know, right?
Anyway, to your question, Bunny Knight, I'm not sure what you think you can do for the Queen that she hasn't done herself, but if you give me some idea of what you're looking into, I can certainly put my brain to it.
Sure. And Aska will describe the magic thing that she has back in her world, and how that if she knows of Siren's Sun Grace, it was an invention of hers.
Oh yes, Siren. The other problem child when it comes to fertility here.
Fun ladies, though.
Still, you really think something like that would work? You're dealing with fey magic, not just a barren womb.
No, but I figure if there's two gods around, maybe they can help empower it in some fashion.
Honestly, I'm not
Hey,
even sure the gods would want Yvain to get pregnant.
I got a
Why wouldn't they?
question.
She's a devout follower of the Eternal Consort, isn't she?
She's a follower, certainly. Draws her power from the consort. But at the same time, she's also the eternal queen of this place. The Ever Queen. The one constant here besides Lady Tyrion. Having a bunch of heirs to the throne running around would be a destabilizing factor. Yes, Bear, ask your question.
I tell you, didn't you say like you had some fertility god thing stuff?
Huh?
Yeah,
Me?
Lady Saracena is
I
closely
mean, I'm descended
our
from
families.
Saracena.
Yeah, so can't you like take some, I don't know, magic blood from you and just chuck into that idea that uh, Aska has?
Mine would be fairly diluted. One
Yeah,
of my
but
siblings would be like a direct descendant,
yes, but
first
something is better
generation.
than
But
nothing. See, we work with what we got, not what we don't have, right?
I think you'd be hard pressed
Not
to get
quite sure
something
it
out of
works
me,
that way.
but we could always try, I guess.
It's better than nothing. Come on, it's like what else do we got?
True, if you leave me a sample of your blood, I can at least examine it in detail while you're gone.
If you
It's not
could
like I
leave me
have
a
much
sample of your
else to
blood
do.
as well, I'm quite peckish.
Okay, sure.
Thank
Thumbs
you,
ups.
Tally. That's appreciated.
The sage will go and get a needle and vial from one of her cabinets. Come over. Alright, ball your fist. Let's see those veins.
Sure.
Let me see them gum veins.
Poke! She gives you the little pinch, begins to draw blood. She will look at Aiveah and say, "You might want to turn away unless you get too hungry."
No, I'm fine. I'm fine, really. I ate well last night.
Very well, say what you... Oh.
Hmm? What's so funny?
Huh?
Oh. The goddess just told me a joke that's never happened before. At least I think it's a
Huh.
joke.
What'd she
Pardon?
say?
She said, if you get that blood any closer to me, I might get pregnant.
Oh.
No,
Well, that's a
hell yeah!
good starting point, I suppose, for it.
Hot. Are you sure it was a joke?
Not in... I hope it was. The consort's a fucking puppet.
I mean,
Look, people do make some puppets for that, I'm sure.
Not for breeding with. I've seen people do all sorts of things to Warforged, unfortunately.
she just puts her hand on her shoulder and says, "You have no understanding the depth of depravity
The
that
darkness that
people
exists in man's heart.
this will drive you to drink. Trust me."
No, actually,
That
now
is-
I'm
is so
deadly
much more-
curious. Tell me more.
I was gonna say, it's so much more ominous coming from an alcoholic when they say it will make you drink. I'm like,
Especially an alcoholic god, priestess of this god of secrets. Like, oh god.
oh yeah, she's seen some real darkness.
No, I'm deadly curious now. Tell me what puppet breeding you've witnessed.
It just gets a small smile and starts to slightly twitch while laughing a bit, like and almost like he's spastic.
Oh, if it's so bad this putting her into a seizure, I don't think we should.
I'm getting very tempted to lesser restoration her, just so you know.
We
Oh,
kind of
God.
need her for continuing this adventure, and she's at the very least a functioning alcoholic. We'd rather you didn't remove her ability to function.
I suppose I can remove the alcoholic, but not the function. Very well. She will pinch off the blood coming out of Tally's arm and wrap a little gauze around it. There we go.
I am now quite curious as to what you'll find.
As am I. It's been a long time since I had a research project. A whole 2 or 3 days now. This is exciting.
Oh, right. The Queen asked you, pick up your phone.
My
I
what?
don't know what that means.
Huh?
I have no idea what that
Hey,
means.
what?
She hasn't sent me a sending in months.
That is.
You
Tell her
haven't
she should
answered
be
a
the one to
sending.
initiate a conversation with her subjects. I'm not going to intrude
Well,
in her
no,
dreams.
you haven't answered her sendings in months.
Well, she hasn't sent one.
Let's see. Actually, what is that correct? Did the queen told us that she's been sending some, right?
Yes.
Incorrect.
She's
She
under the
has
impression
been
that she
sending
has.
some.
Well, that's troubling.
How long ago did you say your arms were stolen?
Well, 3 days?
Well,
That
this
sounds
is
like
months.
the problem's been
That wouldn't
longer than
overlap
that.
then. Yeah.
No. Luckily, my
What?
ability to send and receive divinations isn't tied to my having all my limbs attached. Otherwise, I'd been in a real problem for a long time.
What did you do like 2 or 3 months ago?
Yeah, what would have changed?
Sit in my tower
Presuming-
looking at the moon, the same as I usually do. I've
Presuming-
been working on a research project for the Queen, but that's over and done with now. Started before this apparent problem, and it's persisted until now.
Hmm.
Honestly, I
the
was beginning to
problem-
think she'd forgotten about me.
No, she hasn't. So
No,
that's
she
good.
was worried.
Oh, well, that's
Indeed.
nice. Well, apparently if we can't send to each other anymore, we'll have to deal with the old-fashioned way. Sage will clank her way over to a desk and pull open a drawer.
They're gonna make me be social.
No, worse than that. They're gonna make me use the snail mail. He takes a
The postal
bundle of
service?
papers
That
out,
is hell.
wraps
Too bad
a
you
little
don't have,
string
like-
around it, and just thrusts it out at you all. Here, you'll probably be heading her way before I do. Take this to her.
Likely
Well,
so.
Too bad you don't know a druid.
What do you mean I don't know a druid? They're all over this fucking island. Can't walk 10
Well,
feet
why
without
don't-
bumping into one.
Well,
I'll,
why
I'll
don't
take
you
the.
just get them to send them via bird? Magic bird.
Do you know how
I'll
many
take the.
winged beasts of darkness are around? They eat
I'll
birds. They eat everything.
I'll take the stack of papers and make sure she gets them.
Thank you. So, yes, I will do a thorough examination of this blood, and, well, I suppose now I won't be just getting back to you with a sending. You'll have to come back yourselves. I'd say sorry for the inconvenience, but believe me, it's more of an ass pain for me than you. Have to get dressed.
What? Ah, okay. I was about to say, surely there's nothing wrong with a little bit of sociability with a bunch of mysterious, sexy strangers from another world.
Oh, no. You're all marvelously fun to talk to. Unfortunately, I hate putting on socks.
Just be barefoot.
But
Just taps a little
yeah,
hoofies.
look, just puts. Look, see if it just lifts up her barefoot. See?
My
Like, I
feet
know
make...
they are from a world of perverts, but
My extremities have a history of making people uncomfortable.
I delivered your arms to you, like, earlier today. It's that I was keeping those in my clothes.
That
I've seen some pretty
is
crazy things,
fair.
lady.
It's not crazy, especially if you're a follower of the consort. But some people are more squeamish than others about the sanctity of the humanoid form.
Ah, prudes.
Yes,
Eh.
prudes, right. Like I said, I've had more than a few people over the years throw stones at me for some witchcraft or another.
What a waste.
Yes, well, their loss. Now my brilliant mind is stuck here in Irayse, where it can't benefit Saris at all and all of the stupid idiots that live there.
I
Honestly,
think
I
you're
don't know
gonna
what those
do.
preachers had going through their heads wanting to go back. If anything, it sounds like we should go to this Iona place.
I know, it sounds so very fun.
Exactly. Just don't tell the green priests that. They're liable to burn you at the stake.
I did hear that happened. No waste.
Not really. Well, I'm one to talk,
But
but
they.
still. There's a difference between being accused of something for parts of yourself you can't control and being accused for riling up people into terrified mobs.
Fair point. In all fairness, this place has kind of gone to shit.
Yes, that's what I've been telling Yvain for years now. This experiment of hers has gone on too far. We ought to go back to somewhere where we're not being eaten by monsters. She called me a coward and told me to remember my place. Bah.
Rude.
She can get that way when she's upset, which is more and more often these days. Life was a
I
lot
should go
simpler
back.
when this was a gambling resort for the rich and powerful.
Yeah, I imagine so.
I should go back to Saris if you're looking for stuff to do and monster hunters. Then yeah.
We're not looking
Or
for
you could just.
stuff to do, we're looking for somewhere safe to be. That was the whole point of Irayse in the first place. Somewhere
No one said.
safe and secluded for all of us rejects and outcasts who the world would tear apart. Now look at us. She
No one's safer
flexes
than
her
Leona
hands.
if you do have to make a decision at the end of all this.
These days I look at it, it's like, don't worry, it's been an adventuring campaign for seasons now. It's They want to keep that world weird.
She flexes her warforged fingers and shakes her head. I don't know. It's not my decision either way. As long as Yvain's alive, where Irayse is in the cosmos is at her beck and call. Hers alone.
I suppose that's what the Outers are trying to change.
Yes, that's true enough, but unfortunately I'd Rather her make up her mind as to where she'd rather be than have it pulled from her skull by some horrid monster. Because then I have a sinking suspicion that where Irayse will end up is in some god's gullet. That bloodthirsting fiends, probably.
That would be a shame.
It would be.
It would be, especially since it would undoubtedly make him infinitely more powerful than he already is. Perhaps the most powerful of all his little pantheon. There's a lot of old magic in this place. Fey magic mostly, but magic nonetheless, enough to rip an island out of a world. Can you imagine what some psychotic blood fiend would do with that? A lot of death,
Nothing
I
good.
assure you.
I can very easily imagine what some psychotic blood fiend would do with the whole world. Come now. Who do you take me for?
Preferably someone with... Never mind. Glances you up and down, just shakes her head. Regardless, that is up to Yvain, not any of us. So, is there aught else I can do for you, adventurers? Otherwise, I'm going to try and find a microscope.
No, I don't believe so.
No, I'm good.
Now, you got any shit that can help us on the way?
As I told your friend, I have spell books aplenty, but I have exhausted my reserves of potions and scrolls fighting off well past 100 of these monstrosities myself.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I'm not much of a merchant. I'm a researcher. If you want someone who can craft you all sorts of goodies, you'd be better off asking the Queen. It's not like she has anything better to do.
Certainly to be considered, I guess.
Right, now I remember something.
That's a
Hey,
shocker.
you know that... Yeah, I know, I'm actually quite amazing. But... I remember... Wares have very, very strong vitality.
I assume that's how you haven't died of alcohol poisoning, yes.
Yeah, we have, like, especially bears, we're longest and toughest, so... And we have a lot of... What's it called? Not just vital life force. A lot of life.
Yes, that's self-evident.
Yeah. You
And
want
so
some
it
of that
follows.
stuff to, like, check up on and see if it's useful?
Would a were's blood be useful? To what? The Queen's problem Aska's asking me to look into, or just to my own devices?
Well, in this case, both, I guess. Because it's one thing of being able to, like, have kids, being able to do that. It's another thing to being viable, like strongborn, or, being able to survive it.
Well, Yvain's had children before she became a snow elf. So I don't think that's a concern, but, well, having the resource on hand can't hurt. Stick your arm out.
Just sticks his whole arm out.
She will prestidigitate the needle clean and bloop. There we go.
He catches the vapors off of her.
Yeah, before she corks this bottle, AS will just swish it around under Aiveah's nose.
Ugh, don't do that. I'm sure her blood could be flammable.
You have no idea how much I want to try that right now.
Hey, let's do it.
No.
Okay. Ace
She
draws
has-
another little bit of
I'm
blood.
sure she has lots of blood.
I mean,
Snaps
yes,
her
she
fingers.
probably does.
Holy shit, it actually lit up.
So that's fucked. You should be dead.
Concerning.
See?
I bet
Where
I could
bears?
get drunk off this now.
Thumps her chest. Where bears?
I'm not actually sure how viable this blood would be for any research purposes, though. Might just give the baby alcohol fetal syndrome.
And you can remove the you can remove the you can
No.
I'm not
Back.
sure I
Clean it.
can,
No.
actually.
No,
That
you
might take
cannot.
a far greater wizard.
I will have you know, I am the greatest wizard on this island, except for Vane. I
She
don't
is
think...
the drunkest bear that's ever been.
Yes, exactly. Well, I don't know about that. There was a story from my homeland about a bear that consumed a whole winery. He was briefly the saddest creature on God's green earth, and then died.
Oh.
That's better than the
that's-
cocaine bear we had on
Oh.
ours.
That sounds fun, at least.
That sounds
Wine
radical.
bear was just depressing.
Oh, I think my mother did fight the cocaine bear. Yeah, it was a giant creature. Maybe 15 feet tall. It was enormous, a gigantic ultra bear. There was a bunch of smugglers, and they were smuggling bags of cocaine. Not the cocaine, not the good cocainium stuff that it doesn't addict you. This was the raw stuff that does addict you. It ate all of it.
Ow. So that thing must have been an apex predator until its heart exploded.
It did die.
You know what? I've had a revelation. A momentary glimmer of realization about my life.
You should do drugs more often?
Exactly. I miss cocaine. I haven't seen it in centuries.
Oh yeah,
That
this
and
was a
laudanum.
gambler's paradise. Ah, laudanum.
Yes, we had very
most
strict
mellow
rules
of
about not
cocaines.
bringing drugs here. Turns out getting a bunch of wizards high and shit-faced and gambling caused a lot of problems. Who'd have thought?
Sure, I mean the problem of earning too much money to spend.
Wizards have a difficult time spending money when they're combusted or turned into toads.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, it turns out wizard duels, incredible spectacles. Wizard duels fueled by cocaine, and less spectacle and more walking catastrophe.
Fair enough.
No, they usually weren't very fair. It's often very one-sided. Anyway, more of a reason for me to want to go back to a real world rather than this pocket plane we're all stuck in. But a problem for another day.
So it is.
Until then, adventurers, I bid you adieu.
Do
All
to you
right.
too.
Bye bye. Take care.
I will. I don't suppose you have any use for a couple of arms. At this point, I'm rather concerned about what they might do in a tower full of magic.
I
One
can't
second.
say that we do.
Give them here. I could certainly take a lunchbox with me.
She looks at you, looks at the arms, and just puts them in her drawer. Never mind.
I have a
Aiveah gives
question.
everyone
Have you
else a
tried-
thumbs up.
I was gonna ask, have you tried just put them back on the stumpy part because they're like.
Why would I
still
want to do
attached.
that? I have the consort's true flesh now. She wiggles her fingers at you.
You could. Never mind.
If you're suggesting I graft them to myself, excellent idea, but also no.
Second spell of, I mean,
I
it's a
was
consort
going to
certainly
sug-
add extra
I
arms.
was going to suggest giving yourself extra arms.
Unfortunately,
I mean, the
I would require a medical professional around and more warforged parts than I have to make up the difference. Nobody
I
wants to
know
have
medicine.
2 full arms and then 2 little stumpy ones flapping around like a T-Rex. Or maybe
That's
they
a full
do.
arm, so I know medicine. I can help you with that.
No, thank you. I'd rather a kobold supervise my surgery, thank you.
I do have medical training, but I don't foresee that being something you could do easily in the future.
Right, exactly. I will content myself with 4 warforged limbs, thank you very much.
Wild. That's wild.
What?
Very well.
Forged.
No, no, just the thought of how doing surgery.
Oh, yes. Less wild, more nightmarish.
Fair.
Alright,
Right,
shoo,
anyway.
before I end up having to make you lunch.
Oh no, you've already put lunch away.
She picks up a broom off, like, back corner and starts pushing you out the door.
Fair.
Out,
Very
out,
fair.
out.
Help, I'm starting to think like adventurers think. I can't have that happen to me.
Yeah, Aska's gonna wait till she's the last one out though and say a little something to the pillar. Maybe it'll help her in the future, maybe it will not. We'll find out later.
You just feel a cool breeze surround you for a moment, Aska, before you are broomed out the door.
Alright. So, to the Othran settlement, I believe they were called.
I suppose so.
Indeed.
Alright. So the party sets forth along the coastline and around the mountains. However, I think the kitties will have to wait until next time,
Show it what she.
Okay.
Okie dokes.
because that's a whole thing.
I'm sure it will be.
I bet, because we have to try and get an ice weapon from them.
Dang.
Yeah, you gotta get the frost speaker.
Frost peeper.
I
No,
suppose
the
after
Hey,
kitties.
question.
The frost peeper are
What's
these
up?
2 little cuties.
I suppose after the kitties, do we want to like head back down to the capital since that's like the closest thing?
Yeah, and then we can.
I guess
going
unless we
to
learn
the
a.
Tyrant's Wood next.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and we can just do that on the way to the Terrans.
So like,
I guess it depends if we want to go like through the woods or back to Stonebank.
See,
True.
when you say go through the woods, let me just remind you that this fucker exists.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
protector of the
exactly.
woods, though. Like that's actually something that's good and not
It's
like
the
evil.
protector.
Hopefully,
It was eyeing us up though.
Yeah, because we
We
weren't
had an
fresh.
understanding with it as we were like going along and out of the woods.
true. I have a good feeling about if we encountered it.
yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. But yeah, that's it for the day. Thank you all for playing, and if you're watching on stream or
pleasure.
YouTube, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you not... No, we will see you on Thursday, because Guardy's running a thing in that time slot, right?
Hell yeah.
We're gonna
Hell
move
yeah.
What's your running, Gunny?
Mortborg.
Holy shit.
What's your running?
Morkburg.
Morkburg.
We're not
We're not
actually
fucking with you,
being
that's what
fucking
it's
idiots.
what
That's
it
the
is.
name of it. It's Merkburg.
Mortborg.
Oh,
They're not making random noises.
Ooh, I
yeah,
got it.
Well, they are,
okay.
I mean, it's definitely the most gaudy sounding game ever.
It really is.
Yeah,